Hey guys, still totally getting used to this weird camera angle because I'm standing up. Like, I have all this space going on. It's weird. But I'm here today to talk about the 11 series that I completed in 2018. So my goal was 20 and I only got to 11. I didn't get halfway, which is still good. Like, at least it wasn't like I read 2 series this year. And a lot of these series, I read every single book in the series, and I'm sitting there like, is this everything that I read this year? Because like a lot of them, I've read all the books and I'm a bit confused and I'm like moving around a lot. It's like weird standing up. And I'm still looking up. Oh my god. This is only the second video I've filmed with my new camera though, so. But anyway, let's get into it. So the first series I read was the Unbecoming of My Dryer. So we obviously have the Unbecoming of My Dryer, the Evolution of My Dryer, and the Retribution of My Dryer. Oh, they're all My Dryer. But this is by Michelle Hodkin, and I did read The Becoming of Noah Shaw as well, but that's a separate trilogy, and I only read the first one, so I completely read this trilogy, and I also really just love how these spines look. Like, they're so pretty. But I definitely liked the first one more than the sequels because I felt like it just went downhill, and then when I read The Becoming of Noah Shaw, I was like, damn. So definitely this is a good first book, and then it just gets really weird. Next, I completed the Illuminate Files by Amy Kaufman and Jay Crystal, and this includes Illuminate, Gemini, and Obsidio. I finished up by reading Gemini and Obsidio this year because I read Illuminate like in 2016 and I really enjoyed it. Never continued on with the series, but then I was like, damn, I have to, because Obsidio was the Billy Ray Squad's book pick of the month, and I'm like, I want to keep up to date with the book club, and I'm so glad that I've read the books. And Gemini is definitely my favorite. I love Hannah and Nick so much, and I really feel like I kind of want to reread this series because it was so long since I read Illuminate that I was like, who are all these people? And I do still love Katie and Ezra, and I do love Aisha and what's his name? Reese. Oh my god, why would I not know that he's Reese? Because Reese Sand is my bae, and anyone with the name Reese Sand, I'm just like, hey! But I really did enjoy this. Then I read the To All the Boys I've Loved Before trilogy, which has To All the Boys I've Loved Before, P.S. I Still Love You, and Always and Forever Lara Jean, and these are all by Jenny Han, and I read these all completely, and they're so easy to read. Like, these contemporaries were so easy to get through, and I really loved them. And Lara Jean and Peter Karinsky are just bae. Like, they are one of the bae couples of this year, honestly, in the contemporary vibe, and I just really loved this trilogy. Next, I completed the Rebel of the Sands trilogy, so Rebel of the Sands, Traitor to the Throne, and Hero of the Fall. And I read Rebel of the Sands in like 2017, and then I was about to pick up the sequel, and I'm like, holy shit, what is this book even about? So I reread it because it was only little, and it took me 2 days, and then I was like, oh my god, yes. So rereading this first book really made it so that I was very excited for these books, and I'm just so glad I read them. And Traitor of the Throne definitely lagged in my opinion, but then Hero of the Fall really rose back up, and I really love the cover of this book. But this is a really fun trilogy to read, and it's got so many cool magical vibes, and it's very deserty, and I really like it. Next, I reread The Infernal Devices by Cassandra Clare, and we've got Clockwork Angel, Clockwork Prince, and Clockwork Princess. So obviously I didn't get my Shadowhunter rereads done. I could have had the Mortal Instruments in this list and Lady Midnight and all that in this list, but I just didn't get there, and I kind of didn't want to read City of Heavenly Fire because that book's so big and I haven't been reading much, and that would take me probably a whole month, and I'm not here for that right now. I will eventually get to rereading them, and I will eventually get to Queen of Air and Darkness, so no one spoil me or mention things because it's not going to happen for a while. I'll just see how I go, but this trilogy is my favorite Cassandra Clare trilogy, and I just love these characters, and Tessa is my bae. Like, she is honestly my bae, and I love her so much, and I'm never going to stop loving her, and every time she pops up in any other series, I'm just like, oh my god, it's bae. Next, I finished the Spindlefire duology by Alexa Hilliard. I read Spindlefire in 2017, and I finished up by reading Winterglass, also by her, obviously. This is a retelling of Sleeping Beauty, and like in this story, the Sleeping Beauty character can't talk and she can't feel anything, and then she's got a sister who is blind, and it's a kind of a weird series because she's blind but it seems like she can see anyway because she just walks along like everything's normal, and I'm like, is this how it is? Because like she was fighting people and she's blind, and I'm like, okay. But I really think this story concept would have been a lot better if they took it further, and the second one changed a lot of key characters, and I was like, okay, I'm not here for this. Like, why is everyone different? Oh my god, I finished this chunker of a series by Victoria Aveyard, and I was so angry the whole time. We've got Red Queen, then we've got Glass Sword. I read King's Cage this year, and I read this beast, Warstorm. So the colors definitely represent how this series went for me, because like the white one was so amazing and light and airy, and then it just went shit. I was just not a fan. Glass Sword is definitely my least favorite because Red Queen to Glass Sword, it was just like psh, in the way that it was like so shit. And then King's Cage went here, and then Warstorm went like here, but like Red Queen is up here, so like you get my issues because this series was meant to be this epic fantasy and it was not. Next, Next, I finished the Frostblood trilogy by Abbeyleec, and this has Frostblood, Fireblood, and Nightblood. I loved the first one when I read it, and I'm pretty sure I read Frostblood pretty early on in the year, and then Nightblood was meant to come out. Then it got delayed by like 3 months, and I was like, I need this book. I really love Ruby as a main character. I think she's really awesome, and having her fire abilities, and she's in this court of like frosty people. And Arcus, man, Arcus, I love him so much. But definitely the last book really went into like so many like weird tropey things, and it was like, oh my god, this isn't as good as what I remember the first ones being. Did I read a lot of books between Fireblood and Nightblood that changed my opinion on this book and make it be like, oh, this isn't actually as good as I thought it was? But it's still a really fun trilogy. Next, I finished the Strange Dreamer duology, and yeah, this is by Lady Taylor, and we have Strange Dreamer and Music Nightmares, and these are gorgeous. I'm so glad I got the first edition beautiful books. But this series has been a solid 4 stars for me because I just haven't been able to get behind the writing because it's just too confusing, this world, and so many things are happening, and it's very slow paced, and like not a lot of action actually happens in these. Like, I love Laszlo as a character, and I love Sarai, and I love all the gods and goddesses, and it's very interesting, but I just never went over that stage of, oh my god, this is completely amazing. And the second one, it did kind of annoy me with how it ended and some of the things that were happening, and I'm just like, okay, what? And new characters were introduced, and I'm just like, who are you? Like, what? Like, I mean, I was definitely trying to figure out what was going on in the second one, but I was so like, ugh. Guys, my best achievement this year was I reread all of the Throne of Glass books except for Kingdom of Ash because that was a new read, but I read this whole thing. Like, this whole thing this year. So we've got the Assassin's Blade, Throne of Glass, Crown of Midnight, Heir of Fire, Queen of Shadows, and Emperor of Storm, and Tower of Dawn, and Kingdom of Ash. I've read all of these. So definitely my favorites of the series are Emperor of Storms and Tower of Dawn, because Tower of Dawn is all about Kale, and he is my bae, and I love him. My bra strap has fallen down. And Emperor of Storms was like the Avengers of this series, because everyone came together, like every character ever met, and it was so amazing. And I was like, ah, it's happening. Like, every point of view that we've ever had actually intersects, and I'm just like, ugh. But my god, this book I only read once this year, and I don't think I want to read it again because, one, it is too long, yet not enough happens. This book should have been 2 books, and it should have focused a lot more on character stuff and plot stuff, and so many things were rushed, and so many things were not spaced out enough, and it's just so annoying, and the ending pissed me off, and I'm not here for this book. And lastly, I finished the Lady Helen and the Dark Days Club series, and I love it. So these are by Alison Goodman. Well, we have the Dark Days Club, the Dark Days Pact, and the Dark Days Deceit. This is like such a good series, and it's so similar to like the Infernal Devices in the way that they're fighting demons. There's so much more detail, and these characters are just so good. Like, I love Lady Helen and Lord Carlston. Like, they're my faves. Like, they're my faves, and I love this so much, and it's just such an interesting series. Even though in the 3rd book there was not enough of what I wanted, still love this so much. But those are all the series I completed in the year of 2018, and I'm so glad so many of these were like complete reads, and it's so much fun. But anyway guys, thanks for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!